All right, let's just jump right into it. Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're unpacking one of the absolute coolest patterns in world football, the direct link between a player's position on the pitch and their ultimate success as a leader on the touchline. We're going to look at how the sheer chaos of the pitch translates perfectly into managerial mastery.
Let me throw a quick trivia mystery your way. What do Pep Guardiola, Diego Simeone, and Carlo Ancelotti actually have in common? I mean, we're talking about the absolute elite here, serial winners and tactical masterminds. Obviously, they're brilliant managers, but their shared DNA actually goes all the way back to their playing days.
Yep, they were all defensive midfielders. Think about that for a second. Every single one of these absolute legends started out in the exact same congested, high-stakes, incredibly stressful area of the pitch. They weren't your glamorous highlight reel strikers, right? And they weren't towering center backs. They were the engine room. They were the quiet controllers.
Okay, let's dive into this. Why does this one specific spot on the pitch churn out such incredible leaders? Well, we can break this midfield blueprint down into 4 core traits: making and breaking plays, a totally natural mastery of man management, a literally unreal understanding of how the game works, and the ability to operate under completely tense circumstances. Section 1. Reading the tactical board. Basically, how sitting right in the middle of the chaos builds an unreal understanding of the game.
See, because these guys are tasked with both building attacks and destroying the opponent's momentum, they can't just ball watch. They have to see the entire system moving. There's this absolutely brilliant quote from former Spain manager Vicente del Bosque about Sergio Busquets. He said, "You watch the game, you don't see Busquets. You watch Busquets, you see the whole game." I mean, wow, right? It perfectly nails how a defensive midfielder's brain processes the whole tactical landscape. They are constantly reading the board.
And you can see this tactical genius playing out literally right now with Xabi Alonso over at Bayer Leverkusen. He uses this concept called ball near overloads. Essentially, it's a tactic using concentrated player numbers to draw opponents into unbalanced defensive shapes, creating huge pockets of space elsewhere. Because Alonso spent his whole career analyzing these spatial imbalances from the midfield, he now just expertly manipulates the press to dictate these beautifully fluid, high-tempo attacks.
Or look at Mikel Arteta at Arsenal. He learned a ton from his own time in the midfield and obviously is Pep Guardiola's assistant, and he built this whole Arsenal revival around the 4-2-3-1 formation. It's a system utilizing 2 holding midfielders to provide serious defensive cover, which frees up 3 attacking midfielders to fluidly press and create. Arteta basically took the exact blueprint from his playing days to rebuild Arsenal's culture of accountability and offensive versatility.
Now, what is truly wild about this is how the exact same origin point can spawn totally, vastly different tactical systems. On one side, you have Diego Simeone's Cholismo, all fierce discipline, combative resilience, and relentless defensive grit at Atletico Madrid. Then, on the flip side, you have Xabi Alonso's fluid attack, super high ball circulation, shifting tempos, and possession-heavy dominance. 2 defensive midfielders, 2 entirely different philosophies, but both incredibly lethal.
Moving on to Section 2. Masters of man management. Moving from controlling the tempo on the pitch to controlling the dressing room.
Midfielders spend their playing days intimately aware of the pace, the strong foot, the mental state of literally everyone around them. It makes them naturally empathetic leaders. And if you want someone who can get players to, run through a literal brick wall for them, look no further than Diego Simeone. Just wrap your head around this number, 13. He's been at the helm of Atletico Madrid for over 13 years. In modern elite football, that is an absolute eternity.
And the data totally backs up why he's survived that long. Before Simeone came along, legendary manager Luis Aragonés had a 50% win rate. Simeone? He bumped that up to a staggering 59%. To put that into perspective, he objectively transformed a club used to mid-table obscurity into perennial Champions League contenders, completely breaking up that historic Real Madrid and Barcelona duopoly in Spain.
So how does he actually do it? Well, he meticulously crafts this culture of man management. He demands maximum effort from absolutely everyone, which raises the ceiling of guys like Jose Maria Giménez and Marcos Llorente. But, and here's the key, he balances that strict discipline by treating veterans like Antoine Griezmann as complete legends. This secures just absolute unwavering loyalty. Every single player fights for the collective system.
Section 3. Grace under absolute pressure. Translating midfield congestion into managerial calmness. Look, let's be real. If you spend a decade getting kicked in the shins while trying to make split-second decisions, you're going to become pretty much immune to sideline panic.
And the undisputed king of calm is Carlo Ancelotti. 5.
That number represents Ancelotti's record-breaking 5 UEFA Champions League titles as a manager. 2 with AC Milan, 3 with Real Madrid. Literally no one else in history has achieved this, and he does it all with that famously raised eyebrow and just an impossibly calm demeanor.
Let's move to and see how this actually builds tactical innovation. Back at AC Milan, Ancelotti loses his star striker, Andriy Shevchenko. Now, most managers would absolutely panic, right? But Ancelotti? He just calmly redesigns his entire system into his famous 4-3-2-1 Christmas tree formation. He packs the midfield with playmakers and boom, goes on to win the 2007 Champions League. Just completely unfazed grace under pressure.
And that calmness, it translates into supreme consistency. 82 points. That was the Italian record Ancelotti secured in a 34-game season with AC Milan. You see, when the manager never panics, the players don't panic either. It just lets them grind out results week after week, no matter what's happening around them.
Ancelotti is genuinely the ultimate adaptable midfielder, capable of reading the game across completely different eras. I mean, look at this timeline. He promoted Reggiana in the 90s, built a Milan dynasty in the 2000s, won a historic domestic double with Chelsea in the 2010s, and is still dominating, capturing a 14th UCL for Real Madrid in the 2020s. Oh, and he's the only manager to win league titles in all Europe's top 5 leagues. Just unbelievable.
Which brings us to Section 4, the ultimate football legacy, turning sports trivia into profound lessons on leadership. Because as we wrap up this explainer, it's super clear this goes way beyond just football tactics.
Think of this as the midfielder's guide to leadership. If you want to be an elite leader, you have to step back and see the whole board, not just the ball. You need to really understand your people to maximize their output. You've got to remain completely unfazed when the pressure spikes, and, absolutely crucially, adapt your strategy to fit the unique strengths of your team.
So, I want to leave you with a thought. In football, those flashy goal scorers, they rarely make the best managers. It's the quiet controllers, the guys doing the dirty work, who truly understand the system. So take a look around your own life, your own workplace. If the quiet controllers of the pitch make the best leaders, who is the defensive midfielder in your organization? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer. I really hope you walk away seeing the game and leadership in a completely new way.